enough attorneys. My defense attorneys don't have enough attorneys. People should not sit in jail waiting to go to trial in a bottleneck system. But there's something else, Reverend Sharpton, that many people don't realize. There has never been a mayor in the history of this city that is doing more in the prevention area like I am.
Flashback.
These 4 defendants are charged in a scheme to raise money through straw donations for Eric Adams' mayoral campaign in 2021. The idea, according to the 27-count indictment, was to give out money orders to people who would then donate that money to the campaign, and the money would be matched by public funds. So a $250 donation would garner a $2,000 match. The defendants would then allegedly pressure the mayor's office for construction jobs, assuming Adams was elected.
Much later.
We headed to D.C. to meet with our congressional delegation and the White House to address this real issue, the asylum migrant issue in our city, and we'll keep you updated as the day goes.
By sheer coincidence.
Adams abruptly canceled meetings with senior White House officials and lawmakers on Capitol Hill regarding the migrant crisis yesterday morning. Instead, he flew back to New York upon hearing that federal agents were raiding the home of one of his top fundraisers, Brianna Suggs.
I just want to be clear to you, I owe my campaign to the highest ethical standards.
Adams publicly addressed the issue at Gracie Mansion last night, mere hours after the FBI was spotted hauling boxes out of Suggs' Crown Heights home.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Well, can you hear that? Can you hear what's there in the background? That's Mayor Eric Adams' administration crashing. I mean, with all the situations that are going on, the illegal immigration that's coming into here, we're overwhelmed. There's talks Staten Island wants to succeed again. The rising crime, the prostitution, the failed rollout of the cannabis, legalized cannabis on there, with over 8,000 illegal smoke shops in New York alone. I mean, this is the insanity that's been going on. And yet, this is a mayor that's saying, like, I've done enough to, help the city and this and that. And no, you haven't. And yet, you figured at first, you were like, well, this back during the summer, where 6 people were charged with sending campaign money to his election originally when he was elected on there. Should have opened a lot of doors there, but now it's even opened more doors that one of his own campaign head, her own home, the FBI has raided for documents and offices, and also the offices of another company called KSK Construction, which basically the founders come from Turkey. So there's a connection coming in here, influence from Turkey to New York for construction deals on this. And, this is what's coming out now. We were talking the other day, the other video where Adams had to turn around from DC, and we thought, it might have been Biden that canceled the thing, but no, it was this situation that the FBI raided this woman's home that worked for Mayor Adams. But this is what's happening. I mean, his own inner circle, is just created. Is his own administration is falling apart. the people that he's put into place and stuff like that, they've all come up with questionable issues. I'm going to read this a little bit off from the city. This is a website that dedicates news from New York for New Yorkers. Eric Adams' campaign ignored warnings about donations that triggered FBI probe. An employee of KSK Construction told the city that he does not recall donating to Adams or any other campaign where innocent protested another. And this is the situation. And this is not happen only in New York. You're hearing this. Project Veritas brought this up once, where they went to people that donated to certain campaigns, and they went to them. They asked them and says, "Did you donate $2,000 to this campaign?" And they're like, "No, I don't even have $2,000." What you're seeing here, and it doesn't matter which side of the aisle this resonates on, but mostly it's been on the left. You have those that are trying to, and you know, as much as you're going to say you doubt that this happened, that there is no, voter fraud, money fraud, all these situations that you keep hearing people saying, nah, it can't be true. You're seeing it every day. Speaking of voter fraud, you heard what happened in Connecticut in the mayoral election there, that's being wound back because of all the the illegal mail-in ballots that was sent in. And that was caught on camera, and a judge looked at it inside. And then all the contributions left and right, and all the way to the White House when it comes to contributions to the situation. And when you try to investigate these things, people push it aside. They're like, no, it's not. It's not. And what you find out is that they're using people that are not involved in you taking their names, throwing in and says, hey, listen, Mr. Johnson gave $10,000. Mr. Johnson don't even have $2,000 in the bank. So let's read. Internal documents obtained by the city show that city regulators repeatedly asked Eric Adams, the mayoral campaign, about the cluster of donations that are now part of a federal probe into one of the mayor's top fundraisers. The investigation, which triggered an FBI raid at the home of Adams' campaign operative Brianna Suggs on Thursday, is examining contributions to the mayor's 2021 campaign that came from employees of KSK Construction Company, a Brooklyn-based firm whose founders hail from Turkey, according to the New York Times. The Times reported that the federal government is looking into whether the Adams team worked with the construction company and the Turkish government to inject foreign money into the campaign using straw donors. You're going to hear a lot of this in the next couple of weeks, straw donors. People listed as having donated but who did not actually contribute or who were reimbursed for their donations. Adam, who is not known to be the target of the probe right now, has said he's traveled to Turkey at least half a dozen times, including twice over a 5-month span in 2015 when he served as Brooklyn Borough President. The KSK Construction employees donated at a May 7, 2021 fundraiser organized by owner of the company, Erden Arkan, which was held at the home of Abraham Erdos in Brooklyn. Erdos was listed in the Adams campaign financial filings as retired, had donated $2,000 to the mayor campaign a year earlier. In total, the event raised $69,720 for Adams' mayor campaign from 84 donors, and the campaign used those donations to seek $63,760 in public matching funds, according to the campaign documents obtained by the city. KSK did not respond for requests for comments via phone and email, but when contacted by the city Thursday, multiple people listed in the Adams 2021 campaign donor records as KSK employees either said they did not donate to Eric Adams or refused to state whether they had donated. Sertak Varal, a Queens resident whose name appears in the campaign records, told the city that he did not recall donating to the Eric Adams campaign and doesn't believe he has ever donated to a political campaign in his life. Abigail Nikita, a woman listed in the KSK engineering and lawyer, told the city, "We are innocent," after declining to respond to questions. Reached by phone, KSK employee Murat Murmur responded, "I don't want to comment." Arkin, an owner of KSK Construction, gave $1,500 to Adams' campaign in May 7th of 2021 fundraiser show. He didn't respond to a message sent via LinkedIn seeking a comment, and the attorney who represented him in a recent real estate lawsuit did not respond to an email sent late Thursday. KSK Construction is described in a construction publication as a 20-year-old spin-off of Kiska Construction, where Arkin and some of his partners previously worked. Kiska has been involved in a number of mammoth building projects across the city, according to the firm's LinkedIn page, including the replacement of the 3rd Avenue Bridge over the Harlem River and creating the first section of the Highland Park in Manhattan's Chelsea. Records from New York City's Campaign Finance Board show that the staff asked the Adams campaign 6 times over 5 months to explain who had connected the Adams campaign with 10 donors from KSK Construction employees, totaling $12,700, all made at May 2021 event, weeks before Adams' victory in the mayor Democratic primary. Campaigns are obligated to respond to such CFB inquiries within 30 days and explain their source funds, according to the Campaign Finance Board webinar, but in each instance, the Adams campaign failed to respond. I wonder why. In a text message to the city, Evan Thines, Adams' 2021's campaign spokesman, defended his team's conduct. "As we've discussed extensively, contributions to campaign sponsor events do not have intermediaries, said Thieves." He added, regarding the board's inquiries, none of these inquiries were flagged as possible straw donors. The inquiries were about possible unreported intermediaries, of which there were none to be reported. The campaign appropriate responded to each and every flag made by the CFD as required. A previous investigation by the city has identified multiple straw donors to the Adams campaign who were listed in the campaign records as workers in the New World Mall in Queens and ANC Appliances, a local chain. They purportedly donated to the purported donors told the city that they did not donate or were paid back for their contributions. Last week, 2 brothers who run a construction company in Queens pleaded guilty to the misdemeanor charge stemming from a straw donor scheme that was uncovered by the Office of Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. The brothers are currently cooperating with the Manhattan DA's office, which is still seeking to prosecute several Adams campaign donors, including Dwayne Montgomery, a former NYP deputy inspector who has known the mayor socially for years, going back to their time on the force. Adams remarked on the federal probe as he presided over the Dia de los Muertos event at Gracie Mansion Thursday night. "I hold my campaign to the highest ethical standards. Any inquiry that is done, we're going to fully participate and make sure that it's done correctly. I have not been contacted by anyone from any law enforcement agencies. That's why I came back from DC to be here, to be on the ground and look into this inquiry as it is made." But see, the thing is, between that and back in July, 6 charged and alleged scheme to send the mayoral campaign monies to the mayor, these people were, same thing. They were in construction, supposedly. So you have to ask yourself, are there people out there trying to get construction favor from the mayor of New York? And that's a very good question. That's a very good question. Because, if you look at the New York Post had put this out, Mayor Adams in a circle, the longtime pals who have sparked controversy in the top NYC gigs. You see people like Brianna Suggs, which right now she's in trouble. Philip Banks, who basically had sweeping federal police corruption cases involving cops and hookers. Eric Ehrlich, which he was the former building commissioner for New York, which he was indicted in September for allegedly running a years-long scheme doling out political favors. Timothy Pearson, he was hired as a public safety advisor to the administration, finding out that he was collecting 2 taxpayer-funded checks, which was illegal because he was carrying from his old 6-figure pension as a NYP inspector on there. And then you come across this one, Ingrid Lewis Martin, who is basically a chief advisor, but literally she thinks that she tends to override officials and speaking for the weight of the mayor, which the mayor has to approve these things, but it seems like she just overrides the whole situation and throws her 2 cents into the situation. But this is what's been going on. And the thing is, this is one of the reasons why Staten Island wants to succeed. This is why we have all these problems. This is a mayor that just boastfully says, I have done more for this city than any other mayor. Yet we forget the mayors of past on there, especially Mayor Giuliani, who cleaned up New York itself. I mean, literally top to bottom had washed out the problems of New York City. And basically, they're just trying to take him down now these days. Whether you like him or not, you have to look to the situation. If you're a New Yorker growing up here from the 60s on, you knew the problems in this city. All you gotta do is look at that TV series, The Deuce. That is just a sample of some of the stuff there. And many other movies like Fort Apache, The Bronx is another one. I believe that one's with Paul Newman. And many other films. Some of those, even though they're basically fictional tales, those you could see what the behind the scenes of what has happened in New York in that time period. I myself grew up in the Kips Bay Murray Hill section. Today, well, it's reverting back to the way it was, but for quite some time it was very clean. You had a lot of restaurants moving in, a lot of people were moving in, but there was a time there were a lot of families there long ago, but you had drugs, prostitution, homelessness, people with mental problems on there, because we had Bellevue hospitals on First Avenue, and a lot of people with mental issues were kept there, and some of them left. The hospital ended up back on the streets again, and some of the original buildings that have had troubles that in the past are still there. They're still there today. There's one on 2nd Avenue and about 26th Street that, for many years have always been a problem there with a lot of issues, and that building's still there, and there's always issues. And you look at today, the way things are going with this mayor, and you have to ask yourself, how did this guy get elected? Really, truly, how did someone like him get elected? This is a guy who was a police officer who's really not really a big on the street police officer, as many people say, that he's mostly been in the office most of the time. Not a good cop from what people have said about him. But meanwhile, he made it into politics and gone on to be mayor of New York City. I've said this: if this guy makes it into a second seating of being mayor of New York, I would question the election wholeheartedly, because New Yorkers are fed up to the situation. Truly, they are fed up. All you have to do is take a trip on the subways, take a look on Roosevelt Avenue in Queens, take a look over on East Brooklyn, take a look throughout the Bronx. You know, these are the situations that has been happening here. Look at all the smoke shops that are open now that are serving illegal cannabis. Who knows if there's fentanyl in there? Also illegal edibles, non-tax cigarettes, illegal vape pens. You know, this is the situation that's going on. And it hasn't stopped. The police have had their hands tied for quite some time. They said, oh, we got to go after the prostitutes. But meanwhile, the loitering laws was pretty much vanquished from our law books, a couple of years ago. Same thing like what California just did. So you can't arrest the prostitutes because they're like, oh, you got to feel bad. But these are illegal migrants here on sex trafficking. Do you understand? This is sex trafficking. Many times I've talked about this with, they're talking about getting rid of the poor because of sex, they're calling it sex trafficking and all that. But meanwhile, they're not doing nothing for the streets. The sex trafficking is right there on the streets of New York, the streets of LA, streets of Seattle. You know, go to these places and you will see. It is so easy. This has been documented by many YouTubers. This is why. This is not being hidden or anything. That they're wide out in the open. On occasion, it might get shut down, but then 24 to 48 hours, they're back in business again. This mayor has failed New York.
You have failed this city.
And, he's probably, got given out a lot of favors to construction companies, especially those in Turkey. Now, I can't prove his involvement in there, but every day we're hearing new and new allegations. If the FBI's gone to his top fundraiser home, and she has to appear in court now, it goes to, you have to think what is going on. Like I said, in Connecticut, that mayor election is being recalled right now. That's being recalled because of all the illegal ballots that have been posted there. Yeah, that's right, folks. It's on camera. It's on camera. There are people that are in office, and I keep saying this, there are people in office that don't belong in our officials. It's time we fire them and bring in people that will help the city. New York needs help, or we're going to end up like other cities like Detroit. Have you seen Detroit lately? Oh yeah, we're almost getting into that direction. Look at all the stores that are shut down. Look at all the buildings that are just closed out in New York City right now. Look at all the prices in the stores and restaurants. Look at all the stores that are shutting down now. The pharmacies, because of all the shoplifting. All the main department stores. I mean, luckily we've had 1 or 2 supermarkets have opened up. But how long will they last? We already lost a Target up in Harlem. How bad is that? That's bad for that neighborhood. That they needed that Target. So, you let me know in the comments below. You tell me your thoughts of this situation, because it is a major situation. What's going to happen? If the FBI pulls in Eric Adams in for questioning, it's going to be the end of his career. It's truly going to be the end of his career. And, is New York going to be able to snap back from this situation? It's hard to say right now at the moment. But, I've been doing this for a long time. I've seen this come and go. People say, hey, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. But, hey, listen, I'm just one hell of a madman with the show.
Thanks for watching. Before you go, please comment, like, and share this video. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe, as this helps the reach of our channel. Finally, as a content viewer, you have that ability to help support this and many other channels. Especially now more than ever, since the passing of a new law in the United Kingdom that will diminish the reach of many channels and affect our advertisers. If you wish to help grow this channel by financial support, you have two ways. There are two links in the description below. The first will send you to a pay site where you can make a monetary donation. The second will send you to our gear store where you can purchase t-shirt, mugs, and other specialty items. Any additional discounts will be listed on the main page. Once again, thank you for watching and your support.